A key theme of the encyclical Laudato Si is encounter. On a very simple level, the word encounter might mean the coincidental presence of two beings in the same place at the same time. But that ignores a very important reality, which is that we are always changed by our encounter with other beings. We are all always changing, and we are all always changing as a result of our meetings and our encounters with one another. In Laudato Si, Francis says that true wisdom comes from generous, meaningful dialogue between persons rather than from the accumulation of data, and that it's only with encounter with the pain and the joy and the torment that others experience that we can truly come to be flourishing human beings. In this respect, Francis is consciously drawing on the writings of 20th century philosophers, and in particular on the work of a philosopher called Emmanuel Levinas. Levinas locates his first philosophy in this phenomenon of the face-to-face encounter. When we see the face of another, we're automatically and tacitly called upon to protect that other and not to destroy it. It's only through these encounters with others then, through this face-to-face encounter with the other, that we have the ability or the opportunity to become truly ethical or truly good. These encounters happen many, many times every single day, and they happen from our very earliest memories, but they are remarkable. It's in these encounters that we come to know that what exists outside of ourselves is nevertheless our responsibility. The other that you encounter is not you, but you're called upon nevertheless to protect it, to care for it, to love it, in exactly the same way, or in much the same way as you would care for or love yourself. This journey of discovering our innate ability to love and to care for the other deepens and becomes more mysterious when we're called upon to exercise that care of those who are most radically different from ourselves. But while Francis' understanding of the notion of encounter is associated with or informed by his relationship with these 20th century philosophers, it also draws on a really rich seam of thought within the Jesuit tradition. So if we take, for example, one figure, Joseph of Anchieta. Joseph of Anchieta was a Spanish-born Jesuit priest who spent most of his life in Brazil in the 16th century. And during that period, he lived alongside the indigenous Tupi people. Many of Joseph's contemporaries would have seen these people as barbarous or uncivilized. But Joseph of Anchieta didn't only tolerate these people that he encountered, he saw that difference as an opportunity to nurture a deeper and more radical form of love. He entered into a deep and collaborative communion with members of the Tupi community, and together they did that most human of things. They made art. They wrote stories and plays which they performed together in town squares. And these stories and plays brought together the subjective experiences of love and death, despair and joy, which the Portuguese priest and his Tupi-speaking compatriots knew that they held in common despite the profound differences in their life experiences. Anchieta lived his life as a message about the reality and presence of difference in the world, and about the urgent call that knowledge of difference and of the existence of others brings to all of us. Time changes, but it remains true that the greatest technology that we have for producing radical empathy and radical love is the face-to-face encounter with the other.